Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, student. Welcome to our English lesson today. I'm Rahmi, and today we are going to learn about one of the tense in English, simple past tense. Let's start. What is the simple past tense? Simple past tense is what we use to talk about completed action, events, or state that happened at a specific time in the past. The most important rule to remember is this: it has no connection to the present moment or what happened right now. It started in the past and it's ended in the past too. It's finished. Now, let's get more specific about the different situation where we use this tense. First, for a completed action, this is the most straightforward use. I watched a movie yesterday. The action started and ended in the past. It's a single, complete event. I watched a movie yesterday. Second, for a series of completed action, we use it to list a sequence of finished events, often when telling a story. For example, I woke up, brushed my teeth, drank some coffee, and left for work. Each action is separate, completed step in the past. The third is for a past habit or repeated action. This is for things you did regularly in the past but don't do now. I played the piano for 10 years when I was younger. This implies you don't play regularly anymore. It's a pattern from a finished period of your life. Okay, so how do we perform the simple past? To do this, we need to look at the verb. These are two types of verbs in the past tense. First, we have irregular verbs. These are predictable ones. They follow a predictable pattern. You just add ed to the past form or verb 1. They called regular because they follow consistent rules. For example, walk becomes walked. Play becomes played. Of course, we have to be careful with spelling. There are few spelling rules for regular verbs. If the verbs end in e, you just add d, like love. It's end with e, right? It becomes loved. Or smile becomes smiled. If ends in consonant y, you can change the y to I and add ed. So study becomes studied and try becomes tried. And if it's one syllable CPC verb, that consonant vowel consonant, you double the final consonant and add ed. For example, stop becomes stopped. You can add double P because that's a CVC one syllable, and plain becomes planed. You double the N word. Okay, the second type is irregular. These are the special cases because the verbs do not follow standard spelling rules. Each one has a unique past form, which means they must be memorized through the practice and repetition. You already know many of these. Go becomes went, eat becomes ate, have becomes had, buy becomes bought, teach becomes taught. The best way to learn them is to group them, put them on the flashcard, and use them in sentences. So how do you know when to use the simple past? A great tip is to look for the signal words or time markers. When you see the words like yesterday, for example, I called him yesterday. Last, like not last night, week, month, or year. For example, we met last week ago. For example, she left 2 hours ago. A specific year. For example, they married in 2015. Next is then or after. For example, first I finished work, then I went home. When you see the signal words, think in simple past. These words are your clue. They tell you about the action is completed, finished, and no connection to know. Already know for the most important is building the sentences. We need to look at the grammar structure. For action verb, it can be both regular or irregular verb. The structure is subject plus verb in the past form is verb 2. For example, I walked to the store yesterday. So it's a regular verb. The best form is from walked. You can add ed. And next example is she ate lunch at noon. It is using irregular verb because the best form or verb 1 is eat. Okay, for the verb to be, this verb is special. It doesn't describe an action. It describes a state. In the past, it has two forms. Was for singular subject I, he, she, it, and where for the plural subject you, we, they. For example, I was a student in 2023. So I is a singular. You can use was for the verb. Next is they were friends last year. The subject is plural, they, and you must use were for the verbs. What happens we want to say something did not happen or ask if it happened? This is where we bring in helper the auxiliary verb did. The negative sentence with action verbs, the structure is subject plus did not or didn't, and the best verb or verb one. This is a critical role because the word did has already taken on the job of showing the past tense. So the main verb can relax and go back to its simple base form. For example, they did not eat pizza. Did not plus verb 1. For the negative with to be, this easier, not helper is needed. Just add not after was or were. So the rules is the same for the affirmative or the positive one. Is for the singular subject, we use was. For the plural subject, we use were. For example, I was not a student at that time. They were not ready for the test yesterday. Let's move on to the yes or no question. For the action verbs, the structure is did plus subject plus best verb or verb 1. Did he watch TV? So you must put the did in the beginning of the sentence. For the to be verb, the structure is was or were. You must put was or were in the beginning of the sentence. Next, let's move on to the double H question using who, what, where, when, why, how. For the action verb, the structure is double H word plus did, plus subject, and plus past verb or verb 1. For example, when did you walk to the store? For the to be verb, the structure is double H word plus was or were plus subject. For example, who were they? So don't forget, add the question marker for the question sentences. Okay, great. Now move on to the special case used to. Okay, we use the expression used to followed by the past verb to talk about the past habit or routines that no longer happen now. It's perfect of showing a contrast between the past and the present. The structure is subject plus used to and plus past verb or verb 1. For example, I used to play football every day, but now I don't. Or she used to live in Jakarta. This implies she doesn't live there anymore. For the negative form, we use subject plus didn't plus used to plus best verb. Because we used didn't, the main verb goes back to the it best form use. For example, we didn't used to have computers in classroom. Okay, and there you have it. We have journeyed through this completed landscape of the simple past tense. We have seen its purpose, its rules, its tribal to the irregular verb or regular verbs, and how to build a sentences such as positive, negative, question sentences. Path to master is practice. Try keep journal about what you did yesterday. Tell a story about your last vacation. The more you use it, the more natural it will feel. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.